So, Henry Faja ended up being more than just a plumber. This was a guy who had plans for the future, and they weren't pretty. Maybe being successful in his business had warped his brain. Money can do that to people, you know, turn them into dark shadow versions of what they used to be. Henry Faja conveyed to me a secret. He was putting together a militia that would first take over local governments, then proceed with claiming the federal government. One of their goals was to eliminate all artistic endeavors, including literature and television. He saw them as distractions that stunted the growth of true progress. His plan, of course, disturbed me. I didn't want this jerk calling the shots for all of us. I don't care how many hot dogs and hamburgers he fed me. Glad old Miss Sanchez was tech-savvy enough to have a computer around. It was the perfect opportunity to educate myself on how to use a computer. I took a couple of days to explore. I discovered that you could find anything you wanted and that it was a link to everybody. I decided to broadcast to the world a warning about this nut and his creepy delusions. I had the tools to get the word out, and once I broadcast to the world what Henry Faja was up to, as well as my desire to somehow put on a performance of my favorite Shakespeare play, trying to decide what to do next was tough. I could put aside my Shakespeare obsession and concentrate on smothering the brain of the problem, the man himself, the scourge, Henry Faja. But then again, I was fully unprepared to take on a whole militia, especially one that was comprised of powerful people and trained assassins. I needed to hear the words out loud. I couldn't wait around to cast other people in the parts. The play could take place in my head, and my voice could serve exclusively as the voice for the characters. This would be the purest theater ever to exist. I could see a version of myself waiting to travel, and then finally traveling without actually moving. There's somebody with me, a friend or a brother, speaking the words, displaced as I was.
Botswain.
Here, master, what cheer?
Good, speak to the mariners. Faulty early, or we run ourselves aground. Bestir, bestir.
Hey, my hearts, cheerly, cheerly, my hearts. Year, year, take in the topsail, tend to the master's whistle. Blow till thou burst thy wind, if room enough. When the sea is, hence, what cares these roars? For the name of king to cabin silence, trouble us not. Good, ye remember whom thou hast aboard? And none that I more love than myself, you are a counselor. If you can command these elements to silence and work the peace of the present, we will not hand a rope more. Use your authority if you cannot give thanks you have lived so long, and make yourself ready in your cabin for the mischance of the hour. If it so happens, surely, good hearts, out of our way to say, from this fellow, methinks he hath a drowning mark upon him, his complexion is perfect gallows. Stand fast, good fate, to his hanging, make the rope of his destiny our cable for our own doth little advantage. If he be not born to be hanged, our case is miserable. Down with the topmast, yeah, lower, lower. Bring here to try with main course. A plague upon this howling. They're louder than the weather of our office. Yet again, what do you hear? Shall we give o'er and drown? Have you a mind to sink? Anchor. Hang you.
Anchor, hang you, whoreson, insolent noisemaker. We are less afraid to be drowned than thou art.
I'll warn him for drowning, though the ship were no stronger than a nutshell and as leaky as an unstanched winch. Lay her hold, set her 2 courses up to sea again, lay her off.
despised by drunkards, this cheap chat rascal, who thou mightest like drown in the washing of 10 tides. We split. Mercy on us. We split. Farewell, my children. Farewell, brother. We split. Let's all sink with the king.
Steps would need to be taken. Presently, I didn't have a job, so I had no excuse for avoiding action. I had to make myself mentally and physically fit in order to face the dangers presented by the threatening cloud of Henry Faja and his orchestra of fascism. Clear from my head all notions of relaxation, I had to deny myself all images of me sitting around and not engaging in the act of counter-revolution. I was my own island. I was my own king. My muscles had to be stretched and prodded and shaped. The king of his own island needed to adopt habits of fitness. You never knew when an ambush could occur. Strength would need to be summoned at the drop of a catastrophe.